have been pretty friendly, and we sit, we talk, you know, and somehow the only challenge I will tell you I'm having is the fact that a lot of things in the state have not been digitalized. And for instance, most of the court processes, we are looking at a situation, it would be a lot easier for a visually impaired lawyer like me to practice effectively where we have a system where most of these court processes, especially when it comes to conventional litigation, are digitalized. You understand what I'm trying to say now?
Yes.
Where you can go to the net, you upload your document, or you understand, and all that, download things from there and all that, you access your files on the net. It will help a great deal. For you have the ADR, which is what we do here, the Alternative Dispute Resolution. Or you know, another thing we equally do at the Ministry of Justice here is that we vet document, like when you have non-governmental organizations or other NGOs putting up constitutions, things like that are brought in here for vetting. Legal advice are given for criminal matters and all that. So it's a whole lot. I mean, that's just a tiny bit of legal practice, okay? So, but every other thing, it's we do a whole lot here, and I can say with some level of intrepidity that I participate in a whole lot of things over here in the Ministry of Justice. But basically, the issue of digitalization, I will tell you, it's the paramount challenge. And the other is we expect that the government and even other people who are concerned should invest more in the area of the gadgets that we use, you know, because beyond the laptop, beyond the screen reader, there are other things you can use, like the pair camera. You understand what I'm trying to say now? With the pair camera, what you do is you just open a hard copy material. What it basically does, it scans it within seconds and reads it out for you without anybody reading out the document for you. And you can use that to even convert a hard copy material into Microsoft Word and all that to save.
That's so good to know, Barrister. Okay, so right now, I'm sure you're ready. So we can move to Benue State University.
No problem.
Where you lecture, right?
Yeah.
Good.
This is Against All Odds. Barrister Sunday Sabe was born on the 16th of June 1979 into the family of Mr. and Mrs. Thomas Sabe. He had two siblings, Joseph Sabe and late Helen Sabe. One of his lowest moments was when he lost his dad, Thomas Sabe, and sister Helen Sabe to the cold hands of death. Sunday Sabe, like every child, was born normal and complete. He celebrated his first birth with eyes viewing the beauty of the world. He enjoyed good and clear sight until age 8, when he lost his sight to glaucoma. Despite the challenge, he completed his primary education at Kosin Staff Children's School, Gindiri, and his secondary education at Boys Secondary School, Gindiri. He proceeded against all odds to study law at the University of Jos, Nigeria in 2005. Barrister Sabe did not allow his disability hinder his dreams. He was called to the Nigerian bar in November 2006. He served his country, Nigeria, in 2007 with the Benue State House of Assembly and was employed by the Benue State government in December 2007. In 2008, he was trained as a certified mediator and became an associate member of ICMC. In 2015, he successfully defended his Masters of Law LLM at the University of Jos. Currently works with the Ministry of Justice as a principal state counsel.
If someone who doesn't demean the fact of his physical disability in any way, he participates fully attends every function we hold in the ministry and even outside as lawyers generally. Jovial with everyone, not seeing him having any problem with anyone. Keen and determined at all times. I know a few years after he joined us in the ministry, he proceeded on a postgraduate program somewhere. I think he may have finished by now. There are only few things he cannot do in the ministry by the fact of his every other thing he does. He's a hardworking young man, determined in all aspects.
He finds time to impact in the lives of visually impaired persons at ICT Center Gender Studies, Benue State University. Welcome to the world of my guests today. This is Against All Odds.
All right, you can come in.
Okay. Wow. So, just as I mentioned, I said it is up to you now to tell us what you actually do for Benue State University.
Yeah, this is the Center for Gender Studies, Benue State University. Bring your greetings from the director of the center here, Professor Chingwe. Well, our students are not around as we speak now. Of course, you know, they're on holidays. Yes. So, among the things we do here at the Center for Gender Studies is a special ICT program. It is special in the sense that we get individuals who have acquired visual disability adventitiously, most often than not adventitiously. Okay. Because you have people who possibly are in the university, 300 level, 400 level, or those who have graduated, who have started working, and they have acquired visual disability. Okay. So instead of subjecting them to go through a formal school, trying to learn everything again from the scratch, the center have designed a program which just spans for about 10 weeks. Here we teach them how to use the computer, to read, to write, to surf the net independently. Do you understand now? Yes. So that by the time we are done with the training here, they can go back and continue their normal jobs. Our story over here at the Center for Gender Study has been quite a very successful one. I remember that we know of a lady here in Makurdi here who acquired visual disability while she was in NC3 at College of Education Kasinala. We brought her here, we trained her, and she wrote JAMB, you know, scored 280 points. As I talk to you now, she's reading guidance and counseling at the University of Jos, 300 level. Somebody was in this university reading political science and lost his sight. We learned of his case, we visited him. In fact, he has given hope of going back to school. We told him, well, he can still go back to school. We brought him here, had him trained. After 8 weeks, he applied, and the university, that's the Benue State University now, reabsorbed him. He's back. As I speak to you, he's in 300 level, the same course. I was privileged to invigilate his first exams because I know somebody will be wondering, how is he writing his exams? What the Benue State University has done is we get the scripts in soft copies, okay? And these soft copies are copied into the system of the visually impaired user. So what he does is, instead of bringing an invigilator to read for him, he just reads it with his own computer and still use the same computer to write the answer. By the time he's done, he copies it down or he prints it. You know, gets a printer around there in the office, print it and submit it to the lecturer. You know, with all that you were able to portray to them, that made it easier. Very well. Okay. All right. And so here, what are the challenges you're actually looking forward to that can be, you know, changed, added, subtracted? Part of our challenges is that we would appreciate if we could have accommodation to keep these students, because it's a local program run by the Center for Gender Studies. You understand now? So you have situations where people, like the batch we are currently training, we have somebody who is coming all the way from Nasarawa State to attend the training here. And he comes in here and goes back weekends. Do you appreciate the point now? And that is cost effective. And we have people who have indicated interests to come and do this program from other states within northern Nigeria. Okay. So we are looking forward to a situation where accommodation will be made for these people, suitable accommodation that is, you know, because I remember that we had discussed this matter already with the University Authority. We've told them, and I believe they are equally looking into that. You know, that is one. We equally intend that, okay, we are using some computers out here. We don't take, we take about 10 people per batch, okay? So we are looking at a situation where we could increase that, because sometimes the demand can be pretty high.
Wow, that's nice. I wish the students were around,
yes,
but we could come some other time
no problem.
to catch you doing your work.
No problem.
Right? So it's good to know that this is Center for Gender Studies, Benue State University, Makurdi, where my guest, Barrister Sunday Sambe, lectures. It takes care of the ICT Center. You've heard him all. He's been able to impact into the visually impaired people. We'll move to his house now, where we'll relax and have time with his family. Let's go.
This is Against All Odds.
You know, they say beside a successful man is his wife. And you can see his wife seated by his side. It actually lets me into the privacy of their home, and I don't take that for granted. Thank you for this drink. I think we should start with a toast. To good life,
yeah,
and God first. All right, so we're here now. And, you know, madam, we've actually gone round touring with your husband. From his office at the Ministry of Justice, we went to Benue State University, where he's impacting lives, and then we're back home to where you've been waiting for us. So thank you very much for letting me into your home. I really don't take this for granted.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. So I'll actually start with you here, because we've had a lot of sections with your husband. Yes. I want to now hear from you. Okay? Yes. You know, when your husband actually came to marry you, and he told you, I like you, and you discovered he was visually impaired,
yes,
how did you, tell us how you took it?
For me, I don't have problem with that. But I told him that I want to discuss with my parents first. When I went to discuss it with my parents, they said they don't have problem with his challenges. Their problem is that, is he a Christian or is he a God-fearing person? I told them that yes. They said no problem, I can go ahead.
So now you're married, and there's a lot of things you can tell us about your husband. If you're asked to describe your husband and tell us what kind of person he is, what would you say?
When I met him, he's the kind of man I want. And that's my dream. I discovered that what I want my husband to be, I want my husband to be somebody that is not lazy. He's a hardworking person. And that is what I found in him. And I think I like it. And that is my desire.
So obviously, of course, your dreams have been realized. Now coming to the home, you know, around and all that, do you find it difficult coping with him because of his challenge?
I don't.
Tell us more.
With his challenges, sometimes he will be the one. There are some things like electronics. He will be the one to do it. Instead for me to do it, he will say I should leave it. He will help me do it.
That's interesting. So he's very alert and able to thank God. Thank you very much, you know, for giving us your time. Now back to you, Barrister.
Yeah.
Are you ready for us?
No problem, I'm always ready.
There's a guitar right by our side. Maybe we should just relax to the beat of music.
Yeah, I can see signs of celebration. Is it coming of a newborn child? I can tell the question they've been asking. What will this child grow up to be? Will it be just like his daddy? Or will she be just like her mommy? Yahweh, in whom will live and grow. Wish you were around, see your little boy turn to a man. Wish you were around, see how the Lord has helped me. Wish you were around. Wish you were around.
I just felt like you should never stop. Beautiful song.
Thank you very much.
Beautiful wordings and very deep.
Thank you.
Wow. I truly wish he was around to see whom you have become.
Thank you.
And I know that your mom will be proud. She'll be happy. Eh?
I think so.
Yes. That Yahweh has pulled through indeed. He has. Just as you've experienced your low moments, I'm sure you've also experienced your high, joyful moments.
Yeah, one of such is when I was called to the Nigerian bar in 2006. I know it wasn't easy going through the law school, envisaging the financial implication and all that. My dad was not there. My mom, as of then, she was a petty trader. It was like, how do I raise the money for it and all that. It wasn't easy. Going to the law school itself, after paying everything, you know, you don't cook there. You have to, you know, go to the cafeteria, you know, you eat, you pay for your meals and all that. It wasn't just easy, but somehow, we were able to pull through. The Bible says, the gift of a man maketh way for him. It reminds me of an experience I had at the law school where I was one of the 4 students that spoke when we had the valedictory court session, when we had the new Director General of the Nigerian Law School. And after making that speech, I got a standing ovation. It gave me some level of popularity in the school. And before you know it, everybody was like, who is this special person? Who is this special person? You know, and all that puts together. I had so many friends, and I was able to cope, I can tell you that. I was able to cope. And when I was to be called to the Nigerian bar, you know, lawyers will tell you that we don't just call it bar final, we call it bar fire. You know what that means, you know, because of the intensity of the exams. It's quite intense, you know. And somehow, when somebody called me, then I was on the plateau and said, Sabe, I saw your name among one of the awardees.
Wow.
I was like, no, I'm not too sure it's my name. Go and check it well. And he went back and he said, are you not Sunday Thomas Sabe? Yes, I am. I said, of course I am. I said, you have an award. He said, you have an award from the Council of Legal Education. Oh. I was like, wow. You know, and for me, on the day I was called to the bar and I was receiving my award, it was tears of joy. Oh. I had a dream. I wanted to get to the Nigerian bar. I wanted to become a barrister, I wanted to become a lawyer. And God made it true, made it for me despite the odds.
The book.
Yes.
What About Us?
Yeah. What About Us is a book. I put this book together when I was doing my NYS, when I was serving. Actually, what motivated me to write the book, it's the fact that, you know, when people acquire visual disability, most often than not, they think that that is the end of the road. they think that they can't make it anymore. You understand me?
Yes.
You know, but I was deliberate about trying to say, look, you first of all need to motivate yourself.
And yes, we have had so much fun, you know, digging into the life of Barrister Sunday Thomas Sambi. It's been fun all the way. I have actually learned so much, and I'm sure you have also learned one or two things, that the world of the disability is not a world of restriction. It is about making up your mind to be who you want to be and making sure that those dreams do not die. Thanks to same channel. My name remains Toshima Pius Ikerabi.